We are on the road again. We are on the road to glory, guys. And for this episode, we are picking up the reboot of how we're going to attack and how we're going to discover the road to glory. Now, the Sorare Scouts and Managers from around the world showed up in force on last week's episode to try and inform me on who is the apex, the number one, the top of the food chain goalkeeper selection for the next 6-month window. We'll be getting into that in the episode today, as well as congratulating last week's winner. We ended up going out and picking up a João Carlos Teixeira, formerly of Feyenoord, now in the Chinese Super League, as you can see here, with some okay scores to get himself started. The Chinese Super League can be quite OP for Europeans that go out there, and for like 11, 12, whatever it was for the limited card, I thought he was a great addition to really add in for the next 6 months. The Road to Glory team went out, but and also won, would you believe it, a Matija Ilinic. In semi-pro America, we went out and we finished like 50th with Captain Talis Magno, who I'm also the first owner on, as well as this Ilinic rookie at NYC. So we'll be giving away an Ilinic as well as something else. So we'll have 2 cards to give away on this week's episode. Now, if you've noticed the deployment we had on Etienne Vassen the last game week or two, you know, he's dropped in a 68 and a 26, unlike his normal 56 self. But we're starting to play him just for the sharp end here of the European season in cap 220. And that is exactly where the giveaway, the extra giveaway can take place. Now, for us doing this, certainly over this weekend and for any remaining fixtures where we can use Etienne Vassen, the Road to Glory giveaway element, we're going to follow in the footsteps of Sorare. Since they've announced this Golden Cap 270, we'll make this the Golden RTG 220. So we'll be able to play Etienne Vassen in here this game week with 4 of the rares. Now, you can go across my gallery and have a wee look at what rares you think we should be playing, but I do have priority lineups that will probably take out some of the big hitters. I've done a draft of my teams just to give you an idea of who is still kind of available to be selected after the first draft. Now, I might change some of this a little bit. In defence, a good selection of players, and feel free to pause the video. You don't need me to read all the names out to you. XP does not count, and again for this division, having the limited goalkeeper is the play that we're going to roll with going forward. So obviously we'll be doing this for the sharp end of the European season. After this week's edition, we should be getting ourselves a goalkeeper in. Now, that will be a limited goalkeeper, and he should replace in mind, body and spirit at FC Barcelona the job that Etienne Vassen has done. Now, it's highly speculated and highly rumoured, if not confirmed, that Etienne is going to be moving to Feyenoord in the summer. So he's going to be moving up in the food chain, and his scores, his AA, behind a better defence, he's going to be a great card to pick up. We paid 60 quid for the limited at the moment. He does go for like a quarter of that, so a very good time for him, but maybe you don't think the Feyenoord move works. Hey ho. But really good selection of cards. Not too many forwards are left over at this stage of the draft. So yeah, you're not going to get any forwards out of these rare teams, unfortunately. On this first draft, I don't think any of those rare forwards get dropped, you know. So that's the selection that we're going to have for Cap 220. Now, as usual, what I want you to do in the video today is nominate. We're going to kick off the next week, the next theme here on Quinny 3001, and we're going to be going after right backs. Okay, now on Sorare, whether they're a right back or not doesn't really matter. We're only interested in defenders. So for the Sorare Scouts Managers from around the world for the Road to Glory, we want to be thinking about defenders, but I do want us to think about right backs. I do want us to think about full backs. Generally, we will come to left backs, not next week, but later on when we've got a boring week to fill. And the reason I say specifically right backs is because in a lot of teams in modern football, the right back normally becomes one of 2 profiles. They're either a wide kind of centre back, maybe in a back 4 or something like that, where they don't actually lose possession too often, and they're maybe just a centre back that gets more passes or maybe gets up the pitch a little bit more. They still win their duels, they still get interceptions, they still get tackles and all that good stuff. And then we've got the other right winger, the one that I'm more attracted to, which is like the bombastic, basically winger, the Frimpong, the Maffeo, the Pedro Porro, these types of guys. So whatever profile you want to lean with, go for it. But this next week on the channel, we're thinking about the biggest and best, the glorious, the wonder kids, all the right backs from across the world that could be moving around in the transfer window. But there's a wrinkle, there's a crease to this, guys, because like we're doing now with Etienne Vassen and with the current state of the market, can we build Road to Glory Cap 220 Team of Death, because if I was going to be starting my Sorare gallery today, this is 1000% the division I would be going after first and foremost as the chips sit here now. The barrier to entry on the Goalkeeper is always so sticky, but having that ability to get some of the goalkeepers we're going to see featured in today's video to play at the rare competition, with some of the bang for buck we can get in outfield and rare, particularly in defence and midfield nowadays. The Cap 220 is definitely a division that I would rather start my fishing expedition and, you know, my attempt to fish in the prize pool to get some rewards. Now, the rewards here are not that glamorous, but that does reduce the competition ferocity in the leaderboard as well. And because we are going to be attacking this on the Road to Glory series, we should be pulling out rare giveaway rewards to give away every single week. Now, obviously, we'll be doing the giveaways as best as we can, just on the nominations and any successful players that we buy and bring into the club. Obviously, I'll be a bit more prudent on that, because we're really trying to nail this division for the next 6 months for the Road to Glory. But anytime this team wins anything, that is a giveaway card. That's something you will get in a giveaway. Now, to enter that, we're going to be taking on a little bit of the lessons learned, or some of the things we've done before with some of these giveaways, and we're going to do a little bit of lineup building. So this is going to be, this part of the giveaway is only really probably going to be used by the hardcores, the guys that actually come and enjoy the content here on the channel. They actually subscribe and like the videos and get stuck in. They don't just come along for the tip videos. Let's see what Quinny's talking about, take some notes, not sub, not subscribe, and be a baddie and go back into the shadows of the Web3 world out there. But what you'll need to do is you'll need to go on to Sorare data. You'll need to find me, my name's Quinny, or FC Barcelona, and then you're going to go to lineup builder. You're going to find the game week in question, of course, and then you're going to go to Cap 220. And then what I'm going to do on the deadline stream with me and Harry Trades on Friday is I come into this community building tab here, and this will be filled up with all the teams that you guys have successfully built. I will pick the most popular combination, because what will come out here in these tabs is how many people picked Liam Scales, how many people picked Andy Robbo, how many people picked this guy and that guy. I'll pick the most popular selections. The card, if it wins a card, the player that picked the team with the most cards in it, or the same, all the cards, whatever, wins the prize. So if you pick the best team and it becomes the best team and then it wins the card's yours. Congratulations and well done. So please, to take part, do like and subscribe. If you want to take part for the Road to Glory, all I need you to do is leave a comment down below of what you think is the apex rare right back for Cap 220 over the next 6 months. I'm trying my best to grow the giveaways. I'm trying my best to give away as much as I possibly can. We had some amazing success. We've got just under 200 entrants in the 4 VIP tickets to Trophy Day, Celtic at home to Aberdeen. And as the channel grows and continues, hopefully we can do more and more stuff like that. Thanks to Sorare for helping out with that, by the way. But we've just taken on a new partner, a new sponsor on the channel. The guys at QuinnBet found Quinny 3001 across the internet, and they thought, this channel's got a lot of potential and we want to sponsor it. And how good is this? The guys at QuinnBet have enhanced their UK welcome offer to all you guys here on the Quinny 3001 channel, where you can now get a free bet up to £35. It's for new customers that sign up only. You can check out the full terms and conditions on their website, quinnbet.com, or see the link in the description of the video. By clicking on that link and signing up directly, you do support all the content here at the channel, and I do thank you in advance if you do so. It looks really impressive to me, but remember, it's 18 plus, folks, and always gamble responsibly. And let's just get stuck into it. And the first suggestion comes into us from Football Player. He is recommending one of the favourites of the Sorare Odyssey, and that is Jose Carvajal of Universitario. Now, does have huge AA scoring potential. For a limited, he is only £31, and when you look at his scores, it does have the makeup of what I would consider to be an apex goalkeeper selection for the next 6 months. The Universitario are currently sitting second in their division at the moment, and they concede less than a goal a game, and that's a huge factor in how credible this guy's scores are. Now, at 37, he's not got a long shelf life in the world of football, of course. The one thing that does concern me is there's only a couple of games listed as fixtures, not only domestically for Universitario, but in Europe, and then they seem to have some sort of maybe mid-season break on the horizon. For this, I'm after someone who will have a continuous run of games, hopefully, to as much as possible for the next 6 months. Now, J-Man K is recommending Kim Dong-jun. His form has recently been incredible, smashing out 80, 40 and 30. If you want to stay away from the K-League with the Opta issues, then look at this other guy. But 2 really good keepers. Now, if you are into a wee bit of Korea, the guy's scores are really good. And because of those Opta issues, prices may be suppressed ever so slightly. Yes, scores are noteworthy, very credible. And these are like podium dangerous goalkeepers that we've seen so far. At 28, a much more appealing situation. He's definitely someone that we would add into the list, I think. Now, the K-League has fixtures running basically concurrently all the way from now to the middle to the end of October, something like that. So that's a great time period. Now, on Sorare at the moment, there is some issues with Opta. Normally, there's a 48-hour turnaround to get the K-League statistics in for SO5 scores, etc. But if the game is right at the end of the deadline for the game week finishing and concluding, then some of these scores aren't getting captured, so that's something to watch out for. His other recommendation plays for Vissel Kobe, 28-year-old Daya Makawa, who is about double the price in actual fact for a limited card. I wonder if his scores will back that up. And yeah, I suppose that they're the same, and you know, the doubling in price there is, of course, you're just guaranteed scores from the J-League by comparison to the K-League anyway. So, yeah, very good. But for double the price, I do hesitate, because I do wonder if we can maybe get someone a bit more affordable. Now, David Richards has got a great recommendation here. Ilgu Park, the Sagan Tosu goalkeeper. Now, Sagan Tosu have been quite notorious for being a good defence over the last 2 or 3 seasons. 33-year-old goalkeeper currently goes for £36, much more in line with what we're after. That L5 a 60+ spot is very nice looking, and yeah, his scores recently have definitely improved, and he could definitely be somebody that we're very much interested in. He does have form of these scores happening in the past, and I guess these are clean sheets, but he's been quite busy. If he does concede, he doesn't really seem to break 50 that often like Vassen does. There's 150 there. But yeah, if he does concede, he does struggle to break 45, which does concern me, which is weird. But the clean sheet makes up a big part of it. And I wonder how he's getting AA in these games if he's not. Well, I suppose it's enough AA to 11 points, isn't it? So, yeah, okay, that makes sense. At 33, that's kind of young for a J-League keeper, so happy enough to add him into the watch list for the next 6 months, no problem at all. And there's a little benefit. The J-League does run a little bit longer into the return of the European season versus the K-League, because it's just started a little bit later. The K-League on the calendar is one of the first divisions that starts season anew. Now, Luke Wilson's coming in here with Lovro Makic from Istra. He's under 23 for another season, and he's at a mid-table team with some good peaks. Now, under 23 players are extra punchy, extra premium, and I'm definitely quite keen on Croatia as a general division for us to be fishing in, but you know, they're about to finish their season, so at £27, I don't find that mega appealing right now for the Road to Glory strategy that we will be running, but wow, those scores are super impressive. The 11 obviously is nasty, but conceding 3 goals, that's just part of the course with the goalkeeper. But 93 on a clean sheet is brilliant. 82, yeah, nice, man. Really good scores. Really like this guy. We'll definitely add him into the watch list, because we'll want to watch his price move through the summer. Now, Jonathan Gargi has recommended Jasper Killison, obviously a fantastic goalkeeper, formerly of Valencia and Barcelona, maybe 1 or 2 other clubs. But he's now at NEC. He's been doing really well. He never made the Holland squad. Obviously, Jonathan loves his international utility. Recently, I can't remember who it was that got the shirt, but I don't think it was Killison. Averages are not that great. NEC just missed out on Europe by a couple of points this year, and they've already lost a key player, Ivan Marcano, the centre-back, to Bundesliga 2, to Nuremberg, who I think might be getting relegated. So, like, I don't hold much faith in Killison staying necessarily. Maybe another team come and pick him up. This felt like a real placeholder situation for him. That actually might be to the better if you are going to pick him up. He's currently £9, and if he was to move up the food chain, as it were, domestically, even within Holland, that would be fantastic. But he could move somewhere else in the Challenger Euro region at 34 and be a very credible goalkeeper for a number of teams that will be qualifying for the Europa Conference and the Europa League, no doubt. So we'll add him to the watch list, but it's probably not one for now. Now, Sean Connolly is bringing the party. The Brazilian league runs concurrently all the way to like November, December or something like that. And he's recommending Cássio. Now, I'm reliably informed Cássio will be remembered as one of Corinthians' best ever goalkeepers or best ever players. He's under £30 at the moment, one of the cheapest keepers we've seen so far that really does fit the bill. His scores aren't quite there recently. Obviously, they've not been keeping clean sheets, which is really the name of the game for the goalkeeper. When the clean sheets do come, the scores are okay, I suppose, but I'm having to scroll quite far back to find a real purple patch of deep greens. Excuse the colour mashes there. So yeah, interesting. I knew this guy's a big player. I know a lot of people do stand by him week in, week out. We'll add him into the watch list, but those scores do underwhelm me compared to the guys we've seen in the J and the K League especially. Now, Ross Irvin has given me a blast from the past here. When Argentina first came on, one of the first teams I tried to go and get was Argentinos Juniors and Lanzillotta, because Lanzillotta at the time hadn't been playing. He hadn't been playing, but I don't know why. I can't remember what the reason was, but I picked him up. I think it was maybe his age profile. Maybe the number 1 was mad old. I can't remember, but I picked him up and I thought, we backup keeper for when he starts playing. He got a couple of games and then it looked like he wasn't going to be coming back. And then I sold him. But ahead of the new, this is the off-season period here, because McBride Ace, the goalkeeper guru, reliably informed me that Lanzillotta wasn't going to play. It was going to be some other guy, Chavez or something, I think. Yeah, but he did play, and he's been very above average. I'd say he's been pretty good, pretty solid. But the DNPs are back, so Lanzillotta is one that I've got a mixed history with. Overall, I'm a big fan of. I know Argentinos Juniors typically are really solid defensively. Like, it doesn't really drop below the 40s there. Really has a few high 30s, but with XP and such, he's very workable. And at 30, he's got a decent amount of his career in front of him. I definitely like him. I'm definitely a fan. We'll add him into the watch list, but those DNPs of late are concerning, and we'll need to do some further investigation on that before we go and pick up a Lanzillotta. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Argentinian division. It's a very good division for defences and goalkeepers, as Sorare players will know. But Lucas Hoyos has been Mike Wagner's suggestion here. He's got 8 clean sheets in the last 16. He's £35. He says that's undervalued, but I think against what we've seen so far, that feels about right. Heinz has turned Estadio Bielsa into a... Did they name their stadium after Bielsa? Into a fortress. Nice. So, at 34, very established number 1 goalkeeper at Newell's Old Boys, formerly of Vélez, of course. £34, like the man says. And maybe we could say this is underrated because he's also at a new team now, and Newell's, maybe they're better than Vélez, I suppose. He's 8 clean sheets in 16 is a really formidable score. It has to be said. And yeah, I think he's probably the front runner out of who we've seen so far. Now, Mikey Baston is trying to cover all the bases for us. Butez is a great shout. We're not going to talk about him today. But Camilo Vargas of Atlas, I know, is a favourite of many Champion America player. Camilo Vargas, currently 34 years of age, the Atlas number 1 goalkeeper, £14 at the moment. He feels really undervalued against the field for what we've seen so far, if the scores hold up. And they kind of do. I don't know what the frequency is all about here, the DNPs and such. But Mexico is back in action. And I find the Mexican division very confusing, but it looks like they've got no games left this season. They've just finished the Clarusa, I think, as well as the Apertura. So I think their division might actually be over now. Tom Brimson here is trying to do us a solid. He thinks we're going for the big baddies, and we kind of are. But Allison doesn't, for the next 6 months, I don't think we're going to get enough out of the, compared to some of these other goalkeepers, bang for buck. Allison's a great shout. None of you need me on Road to Glory to tell you anything about Allison. Great shout, and yeah, it's maybe just not quite what we're after. Now, I think Malke has come up with a belter of a suggestion here. Juniorus Barbereri from Galascario. He's just come into the first team, and if he plays well tomorrow, this is 9 days ago, then he'll be their new number 1. And it looks like what he has forecast has came to pass here. The 27-year-old looks pretty happy with himself. He's got an L5 of 62. He's £10 for a limited at the moment. The rare is actually quite appealing at 183, I would suggest, for a playing goalkeeper. Now, what we said about Peru earlier in the video still stands. Only a couple of games before a mid-season break. But hey, 87, 67, 32. Feels like he's going to be in as the goalkeeper now. And yeah, why the hell not? He has conceded, I suppose, 4 goals over 3 games. That's not great, but really high-ranking clean sheet here. And a penalty save surely goes no harm to helping his cause. So yeah, I really, really, really like this shout. Now, Joe Ducey is trying to do all things for all people here. He's recommending Joe Willis. Now, Joe Willis is one of the key dominant goalkeepers in Champion America, period, if not all-star, when MLS is in season. L5 of 46 might mislead you, but he is £40. He is market ahead of the pack, above average. Scores are above average. Really rock-solid defence, really rock-solid home record. You know what you're getting. I think Willis, really, if he was suggested, I thought Willis will be the pick here. He goes into the Road to Glory, and I think the watch list, and I think we've maybe got 3 or 4 contenders at this point. Maybe, yeah, 2 or 3 contenders. I beg your pardon. Rizzle here is recommending Chris Brady for under 23 over the summer. Hopefully, I can win him. I had your big. He hasn't been cutting it, so it seems like Salernitano is going to be the best no price lock. He seems very, very good. Now, Chris Brady is following in the steps of Gaga Slonina and playing for Chicago's first team at a very young age. He is £52. He is one of the most expensive keepers we've seen to date, and it is only the U23 premium. He does score well, but because he plays for Chicago, he does also score terribly. So yeah, for 50 quid, I don't think he can be considered. Roman Salernitano, aka Kevin Bridges, is maybe a bit better. He's, again, double the price, but he plays for a really good team. The under-23 premium is firmly in effect here. The scores are good enough for it, but again, with it being MLS, you concede 3, you're screwed. And that's always possible, even with a good team. So, I don't know if Salernitano, I suppose the no money option, he is probably the pick to go for. But I do prefer to watch out for Chris Brady. Terry Harrison has recommended Fernando Miguel of Fortaleza. He's now out injured. Thanks, Matty Boy, for the catch here. And these are the suggestions for the Road to Glory goalkeeper, guys. Don't forget to go onto the channel homepage and find the poll so you can vote for the winner. Who is the winner of this week's Road to Glory? Who is the goalkeeper we should be picking up? In the meantime, of me coming back, I will look into some details, of course, around these season breaks that we're having, etc., etc. At any point in the video, if you laughed, you learned, you liked something, or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel, share and retweet, and all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.